Ray, we live in such an online world now, don't we? And you guys have you had a huge impact on the internet. Tell us about that, Ray, and what are some tips for churches listening in, how they can use the power of the internet for evangelism themselves?
Absolutely. You think what the Apostle Paul had to do to get a letter across to the Galatians, handwrite it, dictate it, get it delivered, whatever, make sure they read it. Or if you go back 150 years, you're a missionary, you say to your family, I feel we should go to New Guinea. Okay, honey, let's get in this boat. Half the family's going to die of scurvy. It's going to take 3 months to get there. When you get there, they might eat you alive. We can get the gospel to millions with just on the internet. And so we've got to take advantage of social media, Twitter and other things that the world uses. Just get on there and say, anyone here think there's an afterlife? Let me know what you think. You could strike up a friendship with a complete stranger on the other side of the world. Here's some tips for YouTube. If you want to start a YouTube channel, if you want to get views, there are certain keys. If you can create in your thumbnail, that's the picture on the YouTube channel, or the title, make sure you get conflict and curiosity. If you can get those two, conflict and curiosity, you're going to get views. Now, let me give an example. There's a television program called International House Hunters or House Hunters. I don't know if you get it in England. Do you get it in England?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what it's about. It's about a couple, husband and wife, that get followed around with a camera, and they go to 3 different houses and they look at the ins and outs of buying this house, how much it is. It's got 3 bedrooms. It's 2-story. It's got a rotten garden. I don't like this one. I like this one, the second one, then the third one. And then they choose a house at the end. And it's usually what you're not expecting. You think they wanted the big one, but they choose the little one because of this. And it's just interesting. But this is what happens. The show begins, very quick introduction, 10 seconds, which is a key, especially with YouTube. Sometimes I'll turn on a television and watch an old movie from the 1940s, 1950s, and they tell me who was Technicolor, who did the sound. I don't care who did the sound. I don't care who's acting. I don't want a 2-minute introduction telling me it's in Technicolor. Give me the car chase. I want to see action. That's our mentality because of social media. So you've got to have a quick introduction. What they do in International House Hunters is this is how it begins. Husband looks at the house. He says, I love this house, sweetheart. I'd like a man cave. And she turns to him and says, you're not getting a man cave. I don't want a man cave in the house. And you go, what? Who does she think she is? What a nag. Right. The poor guy. And you turn to your wife and say, listen to her. That is horrible. And your emotions are pulled, and you're both now watching it and watching this witch and her horror just treat this guy with all the way through the program. Right in the end, she says, honey, because I love you, we got the house with a man cave. And you go, oh, that was just wonderful. And your emotions are pulled in, and you say, oh, we're going to watch the next program because that was so cool. All they did was use conflict and curiosity. What house are they going to choose? Conflict, a woman with a husband, and him going, please, I want a man cave. If you can do that on a YouTube channel, you're going to get views. Let me give an example. I open air preached at Huntington Beach about 3 years ago. Nice young girl on a box. She laughed at what I said at first, and then she got real serious and then wanted to get right with God. We could have called that Preacher Talks to Girl, or we could have said, which we did, something like, she mocks the preacher and then this happens. Ooh, right. I got to find out what this is. Yeah, and she mocked the preacher. There's your conflict. This happens. There's your curiosity. If you can do, and it's not easy to do. You can get a video and you think, how can I find conflict? And I was on Babylon Bee. Have you heard of the Babylon Bee?
Yeah. I watched it. Yeah. I
was on there last week. They got me into their studio, and I said to them during the interview, I said, if you want to get no views, call this Ray Comfort Talks About Evangelism. No one's going to watch that because evangelism to most people is like root canal. Yeah. I don't want to do that. That's scary. So call it that. I said, you need some conflict in it. And one of them said, why don't you slap our faces? So we said, let's do it. They stood up and I slapped their faces, both of them. And then we sat down. One of them said, that actually hurt. And I said, it wasn't too bad. Your beard, helped my hand. It didn't hurt too bad. But they can call it Ray Comfort slaps our face and show a thumbnail of me going like that. that's going to get views because it's got the curiosity and conflict. And so they are two great keys if you want to get people to watch your YouTube channel. And if you're a Christian, you certainly do.
Yeah, really good stuff. I'm quite relieved that we record this over Zoom now, that you're going around hitting your interviewers, Ray.